Mauricio Rufy versus James Yontop. All right. I want to say his name because the dude was very unique and he was a gamer. He would not go out. Mauricio put it on him, dropped him a couple times, rocked him a couple times. Mauricio Rufy going into it in the walkout, you know how the announcers always hype people, right? And I totally understand why, that's kind of their job. Being compared to a early prime peak Conor McGregor, the Conor McGregor that beat Jose Aldo, and then being compared to an Alex Pereira, all right? That's what Joe was saying about this dude while he was walking out, all right? Now, I've never seen him fight, but to be fair, the way he fights is literally like that. Well, maybe not Alex, but like literally the way Conor fights, his stance, his movement, it was very like, wow, like this is very similar. I've seen this before. Deja vu. Obviously, it's not Conor. Obviously, that's different. It was more or less the way he moves, the way he fights. Not he's the same dude. Obviously, that's not the same. As soon as I saw him open in the main card, I'm like, I've never seen this guy fight. Why would they just open MSG main card with either of them? And then every site I went to, they had Mauricio Rufy 98 to 95% fan vote to win. And he was like a -1,000. It was fucking crazy because they did a weird catch weight at 65 because Yontop apparently wasn't going to make 55. And then they made it 65 and then he couldn't make 65. So he still missed weight. It was like, what the fuck's going on? Hopefully we see Mauricio at 55 and maybe contending. I mean, well, it looks like they're going to be pushing him. So Bo Nickel proved that he can hang. All right. Paul Craig, bigger guy, 6'3", coming down from 205, beat a Magomed Ankalaev, beat a Jamal Hill. He's very, very talented. He's very, very crafty. The 17-9-1 record would tell you different, but do not take it at face value. He was facing killers. Bo Nickel is a tremendous test for him, going against a submission artist, and Bo Nickel comes from a wrestling background. That is obvious. Styles make fights. Bo Nickel didn't even showcase or shoot at all. All right. He was standing up the entire fight, all 15 minutes. All right. All 3 rounds. Good on him. And he proved a lot of people wrong. A lot of people did not think that he was going to be able to stand up and do that for 3 rounds. They all thought he was going to at least have to shoot, and he did not want to. And I do not blame him because Magomed Ankalaev found out, and so did Jamal Hill. And those two, one's a champion at 205, the other one's a contender. I mean, you tell me. His one loss is against Paul Craig. So I thought that this was a great test for Bo, and he showed out. He didn't like knock him out, but the overhand right was perfectly placed. The one thing that I did see that I was like, I do got to say this. I'm not perfect. I'm not best fighter IQ, none of that. I got no experience in any of it. But the way he dips reminds me of DC head kick against Jon Jones. All right, where he gets knocked out. It just reminded me, the way he dips to the side reminded me of that. So if someone can find and read that tendency at 85, they might be able to head kick, drop Bo. Not rooting for your demise, just saying something I saw and made me think of other American wrestlers. Now, when it comes to Charles Oliveira becomes the #1 contender, beating Michael Chandler in the co-main event. 5 rounds, by the way. I think that's the first time he's ever gone 5 rounds, even though he fought numerous times for championships. Just the first one that lasted 5 rounds, actually. And then Michael Chandler, I don't necessarily know what is next for him. He's in a weird spot because he called out Conor McGregor, but he came back after waiting for Conor McGregor. And then Dana White said Conor's not going to fight until the end of 2025. So he's even going to wait longer? Is he going to wait another year to come back? I hope he doesn't, if he really wants to try to continue to be on a path of the title, or at least being consistent, because you're getting up there in age. You don't want to stay and make your money here. I know he was talking about how he's gotten into other business ventures outside of the octagon. I think it was like hiatus tequila or something. And then I keep seeing him on these other ads for like proteins or like vitamins, etc. So good on him. Seems like he's evolved outside of the game and he's got that itch to fight. I just hope he doesn't wait that long. I hope he doesn't wait that long. We'll see what happens, but Charles Oliveira is going to be facing Islam or Arman Sarukian next. We are going to find out whenever that pay-per-view is. I think that they might have talked about it being in February. I could be wrong, but Arman, Islam, that's going to be interesting. Islam, we'll see if he gets another title defense. If the reign continues, I'm not necessarily sure. I'm not the biggest Islam fan. I know their camp, they've tested hot like numerous times. I don't care what Nowitzki says. Oh, take it back. It's not just Islam testing positive over there. Most of them are. It wasn't no fucking joke when Nate and Connor said that shit. So anyways, main event, Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic. It ended in a devastating fashion. Bro, out the gate, Jon Jones used his range with his legs and Stipe was not ready for that. I'm not necessarily sure whether Stipe was looking slower based on the damage and the front kicks to the body early on before he got tripped in the first round and then elbowed on. I don't know whether that slowed him down or the age, if I'm being honest with you. The front kicks to the body early on in the first round were devastating. And then when Jon did that trip and then fucking flipped him, the elbows after that were fucking, oh my goodness. The elbows were very malicious. He's so violent in there, but that's why we love to watch him, because he's so creative. We don't even know what's going to happen next, which then spinning back kick right to the ribs. Boom. Drops Stipe in the second round or third round, I guess. Sorry, my bad. I don't know, man. I really thought Stipe Miocic at 42, a couple of champions have won past 40. Glover, Randy, it's possible. One of the people I thought maybe he could have joined that group with. Okay. And I know Jon Jones, that's a tall order to beat. Okay, greatest of all time. And I've always been on that side of it. I hope when people hear me talk good about Stipe, it's not because I don't like Jon. I love Jon. Jon's my favorite fighter of all time. But Stipe with the credentials, D1 wrestler, Golden Glove champion, UFC heavyweight champion, defended it the most in the division. I mean, had the layoff, looked very good, was in tremendous shape, and Jon just took care of him. Jon just took care of him, man. And that's all with due respect, because I was not necessarily rooting for Stipe, but I was one of those that gave him a chance and a shot in this fight, and I was wrong. I thought it was a 50-50. Jon completely closed the gap. Anyone that was thinking that Stipe had a 50-50 chance, he finished that thought in the first round. He really did. And the thing that I'm interested in the most is, now that Stipe's retired, we know that he's not going to face anybody. We can remove him from the heavyweight division. Whether people wanted to see him fight again or not, probably not. No offense, I'm a huge fan. Love and appreciate your career. Thank you for the entertainment, Stipe. Hope you have a great life in retirement. We need Jon versus Tom. We really do. We need Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. And I wasn't necessarily the one beating the drum for that. It's just the fact that the way he was able to handle a Stipe Miocic, if he gets in close on Alex Pereira, it's going to be really interesting to see what Alex can do. And that's fun. But Tom Aspinall, does Jon give Tom that opportunity, even though I do understand and agree with why he is not? Because Tom, I understand all the accolades, fastest knockout, knocked out all his opponents in under record time, or all of the combined times together isn't even around, or under 15 minutes, whatever the fucking accolades are, right? There's like nobodies in the heavyweight in terms of name value other than Tom Aspinall, Stipe Miocic, Jon Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like Derek Lewis, like, and I'm not saying Derek Lewis needs to be in there, but like people know who he is. There's not many names there. So even though he's done it, he's not done it against ex-champions other than Arlovsky way past his championship. Or then you have the argument of, well, Jon's not fighting him. He has no opportunity to face a champion. It's less about Jon giving him the opportunity because he's the champion and has to, and more about Jon wanting to defend the championship against big names. And I get it. if you're the champion, you got to defend it against everyone that comes in line. That's why I'm agreeing. Tom does deserve the next in line. He is the next guy in line. But if Jon is interested to step out of line and Tom to take that spot, I could honestly see Jon stepping away from the sport, Tom Aspinall assuming the championship, everyone calling Jon Jones a duck for a year or two. Jon Jones returns against Tom Aspinall if he is still champion, which is what I think Jon wants him to prove. So he wants to see if Tom can prove he is who he says he is. You know, going and stepping in to fight another man, it's a gamble. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. So I understand the way and why he used that word, but now everyone's kind of on his ass for using it, because if you think fighting me is a gamble, that means you're scared. I don't really see it that way. I still want Jon versus Tom. I hope Dana, I hope Hunter can sit together with Jon and just throw a bag of loot right here. Just throw a bag of loot. Just what you spent on the spheres, please. Just what you spent on the sphere. Just say, hey, Jon, we got this big ass bag of loot for you. We spent this amount on the sphere. Come fight Tommy and let's get it cracking. All right. And then you can go right off into retirement or face Alex after that. Deal? Deal. I hope that's what happens, because we need it to happen. All right. Alex Pereira does not need to face Jon Jones. I would love to see it, but he does not need to face Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall needs to face Jon Jones. Okay.